To understand the world we live in today, we have to first understand and experience what happened at the beginning of time. So, how do we understand the history of the world if we are living in the future? My name is Ashrifa and I'm at the University of Texas at Austin right now. So, let's start off the series with understanding the natural history of Texas. Alright, let's take a trip back in time when dinosaurs ruled the world. You are about to experience the big changes that happened in the environment in a span of 600 million years. But before that, do you know why butterflies have colorful wings? Right at the entrance, we were greeted by the Texas Tyrannosaur. He lived 67 million years ago and is a cousin to the ferocious T-Rex. Just look at him. He had forward-facing eyes just like us humans and was a meat eater with very sharp teeth. And he thrived on top of the food chain. Do you notice his heavy bones and sharp claws? Do you think this helped him dominate the land? Do you see how big this bone structure is? But it only makes up part of the Tyrannosaur's jaw. How cool is that? Let's look at another bone. Who do you think this belongs to? Did you know that there were dinosaurs who could fly? Introducing to you the world's largest flying animal. If he was alive today, we would not even be as tall as half of his wing. The pterosaur had a 33-foot wingspan and a very complicated name. Imagine him flying above you like an aeroplane. Did you know your backyard chicken is a dinosaur? Next, we were curious to find out which dinosaur we would have been if we had lived alongside them. So we did this. But look at what we got instead. A snake? Really? The world we live in is constantly changing. This shows us how North American continent changed over 600 million years and went through different ages. Do you notice how the land merges and breaks apart? How the ice sweeps in, bringing in an ice age? Only animals that could adapt through these changes were able to survive while the others disappeared. During the Paleozoic era, most living things were underwater and developed thousands of lenses in their eyes to protect from predators. How cool is that? Land that was submerged by water rose to the surface during the Permian period, birthing mountains and valleys. Animals and plants were buried in iron oxide-rich soil, which hardened to form layers of red rock that we see today across Texas and Oklahoma. This guy here with sails is not actually a dinosaur, even though he looks like one. The next 100 million years were special for the reptile species. Their family tree grew fast, introducing new members into many different ecosystems across the world. This is a piece of limestone, right? But what it really is a collection of millions of years of marine fossils, and this one is actually full of oyster shells. With the decline of the dinosaur era, the mammals took over and flourished. While primates dominated the trees, 8-foot-tall mammals ruled the ground. "40 million years ago, when the continents shifted, similar to the current positions, more grasslands appeared, forcing mammals to adapt to this new environment. These were mainly hoofed animals and carnivores. The most recent ice age happened during this era. bringing grass-feeding, large-bodied herbivores such as mammoths to Texas. This period happened 11,000 years ago with the gradual decline of the Ice Age. The indigenous people started hunting and growing crops to balance the ecosystem. We have seen the planet change over time. Our future depends on how our actions impact the environment. So what do you want the future of our planet to look like? Do you know who this is? This is a skull of a bison antiquus, which is 25% larger in size than the bisons today. This is the mighty longhorn, the official mascot of the University of Texas. You will never guess the name of this guy. He is a mix between a turtle, a cow, and an elephant with 2 dog teeth. That is some impressive evolution, isn't it? Let's take a tour of the paleontology gallery displaying diverse fossils of plants and animals that once inhabited the lands and waters of Texas. And this is a giant ground sloth. The modern-day sloth is a cute and tree-hugging creature. Their ancestors were also slow-moving and herbivorous mammals. Unlike the modern-day sloth, they spent most of their time on the ground browsing through vegetation and reached lengths of up to 20 feet and weighed several tons, hence their name. Let me introduce you to the mosasaur. He is from the late Cretaceous period and about 70 million years old. He was on top of the food chain during his time. A fun fact about him, he belongs to an extinct group of marine reptiles that our everyday snake and lizards belong to. He kinda looks like a giant lizard, doesn't he? Next, we stop by the wildlife dioramas featuring some really adorable animals and birds that have roamed the plains and hills of Texas over the years. These animals include coyotes, prairie dogs, puma, deer, eagle, turkey, squirrel, black bear, and many, many others. Wildlife continues to evolve with the changing environment and climate. Some adapt and survive, while others don't change and become extinct. It is important for us to study the evolution of these animals to help with their survival and preservation. These displays help pique the interest of young kids who visit, aspiring them to become future conservationists. The American bisons are a jaw-dropping sight when you encounter them in the wild. The massive head and short curved horns are characteristic of these large herbivores. Wild bison became close to extinction in the 1880s, which would have disrupted the ecosystem. Pumas are secretive large cats that once roamed all of Texas, but are now restricted to the South Texas brush country and are not protected. They have suffered from unregulated hunting and trapping. Don't these majestic beasts deserve our respect and protection? Another cool feature of this museum is the outdoor classroom where seats are modeled after the vertebra of the Onion Creek mosasaur we saw a few minutes ago. Students sit under the trees and learn while being surrounded by nature. Museums show me that I'm a very small piece of a large puzzle and that I'm here because of the events of the past that has shaped our ecosystems. Wow. It also hits home that humans depend on the ecosystem and not the other way around. So, stay curious. Until next time.